How's it going, everyone? It's Steve here from Daydreamer Gaming, and I am back after the international break with my Premier League preview and prediction. This is game week 12, and we have a couple of big games going on this weekend. The first one being, of course, the big North London derby, Arsenal versus Spurs, which is the game that is going to be played here in the background on FIFA 18 whilst I am talking to you and giving you my preview and prediction. I'm just going to do a very quick video because at the time of recording this, the North London derby actually kicks off in 20 minutes. I'm off to the King Power Stadium in about 50 minutes to go and watch Leicester Man City, so this is going to be a bit of a quicker run through than normal. So, Arsenal Spurs, massive game. It's been hugely hyped just because of how things have sort of changed over the last couple of years in terms of Spurs seemingly being a bit more on top, but Arsenal do go into the game as favourites. I do think this is going to be a very close game. I think there's going to be plenty of needle in there, plenty of big tackles going in. I'm actually going to go for a draw on this one, a score draw. I think there'll be 3 or 4 goals in the game as well. Yeah, I'm going to go for a draw with this one. Next up, we have Bournemouth against Huddersfield. So Bournemouth aren't doing too brilliant this season, currently find themselves 17th, whereas Huddersfield find themselves 10th in the league, winning 1-0 last time against West Bromwich Albion. A big game for Bournemouth this. They really need to pick up some points here and start to get away from that bottom 3. Huddersfield are just exceeding all expectations, so this is kind of a bit of a throwaway game for Huddersfield, but then when you think about it, these are the sorts of games that if Huddersfield can go and get a draw, this could make the difference at the end of the season if Huddersfield do find themselves dropping down into the bottom parts of the league. I'm going to go with a Bournemouth win just because I think they need it a bit more than Huddersfield. Burnley Swansea. So Burnley, talking about exceeding expectations, Burnley are currently 7th in the league, doing absolutely brilliant. It doesn't look like Sean Dyche is going to be leaving for Everton, which is great news for Burnley fans. The same can't be said for Swansea, who are really struggling at the minute and losing their last 3, 1 win in 5. It's not going brilliant for them, and Clement could come under a fair bit of pressure soon in terms of him keeping his job. And if things transpire the way I think they may transpire in terms of managers, we could see a new manager at Swansea in the next few weeks, but I'll come on to that one in a bit. I'm going to go for a Burnley win with this one. At home they are pretty solid and they've had a fantastic start to the season. I just think the better team will win. Palace Everton, a big relegation game this one, a big 6-pointer, which is not something we expected to be saying at the start of the season. I didn't expect Palace to be down there. I thought they would be Crystal Palace and would be lower to middle end of the table, or middle part of the table. And Everton were expected to be that top 6, maybe getting into the top 4, and it just has not worked out. Palace are actually favourites going into this game, surprisingly. David Unsworth still in charge at Everton. No signs of a manager just yet. As I've just said, Dyche doesn't seem to be the favourite anymore. David Moyes has gone to West Ham. Sam Allardyce has ruled himself out of the job because he says it's just gone on too long. Everton need to appoint a manager pretty soon and start getting themselves back up the table. I'm going to sit on the fence with this game, and I am going to go for a draw. Next up, we have my beloved Leicester City versus Manchester City. There's not a lot you can really say about Man City at the minute. They're 8 points clear at the top of the league. They're on phenomenal form. The amount of goals that they have scored in the last 5 games, it's 16, 17 goals in the last 5 games. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Leicester aren't in bad form either. Unbeaten in 5. Drawing last time out against Stoke, which first half performance probably should have won the game. Second half performance, perhaps lucky to get away with a draw. I'll be interested to see what sort of team lines up today for Leicester. If Puel goes really defensive and tries to shut out Man City, It's going to be a very, very tough game, and I've been very brash and very confident all week and been saying to people, yeah, we'll beat Man City. But in reality, it is going to be a tough game. But it has pleased me to hear pundits actually say, do you know what, this is going to be a test for Man City away from home against Leicester, who are a little bit more resurgent. I still think Man City will win. I hate to say it, I don't often go against my team, but I do think Man City will win this one. But I'm looking forward to the game. As long as we don't get absolutely hammered, as long as it's not 6-7-0, you know, I'm looking forward to it. Man City are just exceptional to watch at the minute, and you know, I am looking forward to it on many fronts, mostly because I'm glad the football's back after the international break, but I'm also, I hate to say it, kind of looking forward to seeing some of the City players. But who knows, hopefully it's like last season when we battered them 4-2 and Vardy got the hat-trick. That would be sensational. So Man City win for me on that one. Liverpool versus Southampton next. So Liverpool have picked up a little bit. They've got back into that top 6. They're currently 5th. They battered West Ham last time out against Southampton, who one win in 5, couple of defeats, couple of draws, not ripping up trees. You know, they're 13th. You'd expect them to be a touch higher than that. Goals seem to be a bit of a problem for Southampton. Liverpool just shaky at the back, aren't they? Very shaky at the back, but going forward are just devastating. Don't think Mane is available today. I believe he has got injured again on international duty, which I'm sure the Liverpool fans are delighted with, as it was on international duty that he got his injury last time out. I'm going to go with a Liverpool win with this one. I just think they're the better team. They'll start very quickly, and they could be 2-0 up within 20-30 minutes in this game. West Brom versus Chelsea. So, talking of managers under a little bit of pressure, West Brom fans really are not having Tony Pulis at the minute. The football isn't fantastic. They're not winning many games. They're just drawing games, losing games. Yeah, and I don't see him lasting much longer. Now, I have just heard on TalkSport, Adrian Durham was at he's at the Hawthorns today, and he was reading the programme notes, and he read it out, some of it out, and it read as though it was Tony Pulis almost saying bye to the fans, like, this is going to be my last game. I've done this, I've achieved this, we've done this and that and the other, but it's time for me to go, almost, is kind of how it read. It may be reading too much into that. Given that Chris Coleman has just resigned from the Wales job, could Tony Pulis be heading to Wales? Could Tony Pulis get the Swansea job if he was to leave West Brom and things transpired that Paul Clement lost his job at Swansea? Pulis is Welsh, he's from South Wales. You know, those sort of things, they're a little bit of a kind of, they're the romantic side of football, you know, the manager coming home to his native land and all this sort of thing. And sometimes it doesn't work out like that. I don't think Pulis is going to last the season at West Brom. I don't think West Brom will go down by any means. They'll stay up. But they have got a decent squad, probably the best squad that they have had in their Premier League era, yet they are playing football that is, well, just dreadful. They are an awful, awful team to watch. Really, really bad to watch. Chelsea, 3 wins from their last 3. Beating United last time out. Currently 4th. Again, another manager who's not, you know, guaranteed to be keeping his job. There's supposedly, I've been reading certain reports all over Twitter and various different places that the players are unhappy with Conte. It's one that's a bit of a slow burner, I think, and could develop into something. Chelsea win for me on this one. Absolutely no doubt about that. The 5:30 kickoff is Manchester United versus Newcastle. The big news for United is the return of Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Paul Pogba, expected to be on the bench for this game. A huge, huge boost. I think Pogba has been missed, I would say, while he's been injured. I think it definitely shows. The goals have dried up a little bit for Lukaku, but Lukaku has been scoring in the week on international duty, so hopefully that carries on into his domestic form, and he starts picking up some goals again. If anything, just for my fantasy team, as he's my captain. Newcastle, they're doing all right. Mid-table, 11th, well, not quite mid-table. They lost their last couple, but they're not getting battered. You know, they lost 1-0 in both their last 2 games. Losing at home to Bournemouth, probably not the best result. But they're doing okay, and with new owners seemingly coming in any time now, I think this will stabilise things in terms of, will Rafa stay, will he go? I don't think, if Mike Ashley had still been there come the end of the season, I don't think Benitez would have been, especially after the January transfer window. These new owners, if they are in by January, will need to give Benitez money so that he can go and spend it, or he won't be happy at all. United win for this one, absolutely, no doubt about it, all day long. Manchester United win. On to Sunday, we have Watford versus West Ham United. So Watford, they've lost their last 3. Okay, last time in the Premier League, they had that barnstorming game with Everton where they lost 3-2. Despite losing their last 3, I still think they're doing fantastic. They're 9th in the league, and Marco Silva is, I keep saying it, he is a fantastic manager, and one of these days he will go to a big club. I think a big European club. Maybe one of the sleeping giants, a bit like AC Milan or an Inter Milan, someone like that. I think he's brilliant, and although I am so far happy with Claude Puel, I'm a little bit gutted Leicester didn't get Marco Silva in the summer instead of Craig Shakespeare. He's been linked with the Everton job. He's seemingly the favourite now that everyone else seems to have fallen away in terms of being the favourite for the next manager of Everton. It'd be interesting to see if Watford can keep hold of him. I kind of hope they do. I mean, Watford aren't a club that I particularly like, I'll be honest. There's a bit of history there, but I like this manager. So, you know, hopefully he does. Hopefully he does well, and hopefully Watford don't get shafted there. You know, I'd like him to leave for a big club if he does go. West Ham, what can you say about West Ham? So Slaven Bilic finally got the boot after the 4-1 defeat to Liverpool. To be honest, in my opinion, he's been let down by the board. He's been let down by some of his players, and David Moyes has taken over. Now, my honest opinion about David Moyes is he is a good manager. He wasn't a good enough manager to go and manage Manchester United after Sir Alex Ferguson, and he's been tainted by that. He made a brave decision going over to Spain, but it's always difficult to go over to a foreign country and manage if you've not had any, if you've played over there, it might be a little bit easier, but to my knowledge, David Moyes never played in Spain. He went to Sunderland, which, as we now know, is an absolute poison chalice of a job and has been for a number of years, probably since the Martin O'Neill days. It's a horrid job, and Chris Coleman, you mad? Wow, I mean, if he turns it round there, then he probably deserves to be knighted. I don't want to see David Moyes fail. I know people that do. He did a great job at Everton. He was fantastic there. And, if he can bring that sort of mentality to West Ham and make them decent again, then fair play to him. But I think he's got a big task on his hand. He's got a few players that he's going to need to sort out, and if they don't pull their weight, he's going to need to get rid of them. So good luck to David Moyes. Fingers crossed he does well. Not too well, but hope he does all right. In terms of this game, I am going to go for a Watford win. And the final fixture of this game week 12 of the Premier League, Brighton versus Stoke. So I'm a bit of a Brighton fanboy, I must admit, and they've done fantastic. They had a bit of a shaky start to the season, but what's really helped is Glenn Murray's just been popping up with goals, and they've found themselves eighth in the league, and they're doing fantastic. And I've said before, they're a club that have deserved to come up. They've got the infrastructure, they've got the stadium. I really hope they do well, and I really don't want to see them go down this year. I don't think they will. So, yeah, good luck to them. Stoke, currently 14th. Bit of rumblings about Mark Hughes. Has he done everything that he can with Stoke? They got a draw last time out against Leicester, a game that, in my opinion, should have been out of sight after an hour or so. So, that could have been. We could have been saying something different here. We could have been saying Stoke without a manager. I'm not saying that a Leicester win would have meant that Hughes would have got the sack. Wow, that's a great goal. But I think the pressure would have been on a little bit more. I'm going to be very confident here, and I'm going to say that Brighton are going to win this game. So, that is my very quick Premier League preview and prediction. Please like and share the video. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think about my predictions. And don't forget to subscribe to Daydreamer Gaming. Hit that notification button so that you know when one of the guys or girls are uploading one of their video series or live streaming. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, fatalgrips.com and Gamerborn Clothing. You get 10% at the checkout when you put in the code DDreamerGaming. My name's Steve. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.
Goalkeeper in the eyes and said, right, I've got the win here, and he's got the goal to show that.
I love that kind of finish when you don't have to blast it as long as the placement is right.
Off we go again, 2-1.
Arsenal goal.
Moussa Dembele. Here's Ali. It's a quick break. And shoots! In the post! Stopped emphatically and just as well. The approach play looked very encouraging. It's Eric Dyer. Kieran Trippier. That's great defending there, stopping that attack. Such great value for all the spectators in the North London derby like this, with Spurs at the moment looking as though they might be the successful side.
Yeah, well, they hold on to those bragging rights at the moment.
The shot's on! Good placement, and he's bearing from. Well, this fullback has covered every blade of grass on either side of the pitch. He's not going to quite go the distance here, but what an energetic performance, eye-catching.
Yeah, and he's had the measure completely of his winger today. He's had him in his pocket, and that winger will be pleased to see the back of him.
The referee has indicated there will be a minimum
Dyer.
of 3 minutes added time.
Now Kane. Lacazette. Well, they'll be wondering how much time will be added on, how much time they've got left, Arsenal, in pursuit of this equaliser. And that's it, last blast on the whistle from the referee. Harry Kane under the watchful eye of another England striker, of course,